Hello everyone, my name is Bill Dunn, McCracken County PVA. In this video I wanted to describe the layers that are available on our maps, on our mapping website of our Qpublic website. The layers have got a variety of information and I wanted to go over them one at a time to show you what's available. So normally to get to our website, everyone will go to McCrackenPVA.com and then they'll go to the red button here where it says tax roll, and then they'll click on the map. Usually the map comes up in this shape right here where it shows you the entire county, and if you zoom in you can scroll in and look at one parcel or many parcels, as you can see here. So these numbers that you see here, these are the addresses, or what we call address points. These are the addresses that we believe or should be used by the property owners. Sometimes these addresses vary. Sometimes property owners are using an old address that we don't know anything about. But these are the addresses that we believe are correct, and we're constantly updating these as time goes by. So these addresses are actually displayed by these two layers right here, address numbers. This is the city address numbers, the city address points that are in the city limits, and this layer here, the county, is the address points or the address numbers that are outside city limits that are in the county. And these are typically denoted differently. For example, the address points over here in the county are this maroon color, whereas the address points over here in the city are a blue color. I can turn them on and off as I want. Depending on what I'm doing, when I'm using the website, I may turn the address points off so I have a much clearer view of the map. So the first layer over here is the current parcels. You see these lines here? These are the property lines, or the approximate property lines of what we believe the property boundary is. These aren't always 100%, but they should be pretty close. So it says current, meaning this is what we believe is current for right now at this moment in time for where we believe the property lines are. And this doesn't have all the property lines. For example, this property here might be composed of 3 or 4 properties, and we have it combined into one tax bill. So this would actually show one tax bill, whereas this one over here, this big property here, could be 3 or 4 properties that we have merged together, so the property owner gets one tax bill instead of 2 or 3 tax bills. You can see what looks like a duplex here, a duplex here, and a house over here. This actually could be 3 or 4 properties, but we have it all merged into one tax bill. So these next 3 layers are the property lines from these years that you see here, 2020, 21, and 22. If you were to click 2020, then it would show you it changes color, and you can see the map numbers. These are map numbers. These are unique identifiers that we have assigned to every property. You can see it change color. The map numbers are now blue as well, as long as the property lines, So this is a little bit of historical information to show you what the property lines look like in these 3 years right here. So then we've got the address points that we just discussed. Cemeteries is a special layer that I built myself that will show you where the cemeteries are across the county. So let me find a cemetery here. Okay, here's one right here. This is Mount Kenton. It's kind of hard to see. You have to zoom in a little bit. So they're colored, and this particular one, they're not colored any particular color. They're just random colors. So there's Mount Kenton. If you scroll through, actually, let me go to Lone Oak here. I thought there was one here along Lone Oak Road, but I don't see it here. So let me just keep scrolling here a little bit. And I'm looking for some colored parcels. Okay, so these are kind of hard to see. So here's St. Matthew's Lutheran Church. It's gray, which was why it was hard to see. If you look in there, you can see the tombstones. And over here is actually another one that was also gray, kind of hard to see. This one here is a private cemetery. It's in the woods here, and I don't have a name on it because it's a private cemetery. But there's many of these spread out across the county. So I'm going to turn that one off. City neighborhoods. So the city is typically composed of neighborhoods. They each have boundaries. This map comes from the city. They recently added the Greenway neighborhood over here. This is new. It's called Greenway. Greenway Village is back here in the back. I assume that's where they got the name, obviously. And it's kind of named after the Greenway Trail as well. It runs through this vicinity over here. But so this is the city neighborhood layer. Each city neighborhood is colored differently. You can see the names. You can also see some of the street names. So when we reassess the city, we tend to use these neighborhood boundaries so we can get comps from each one of these to reassess the neighborhood appropriately. So I'm going to turn that back off. Exempt parcels. This highlights properties that are tax exempt. This is usually nonprofits, government offices, schools, and churches, religious organizations. So then I'm going to go to farm parcels. You're not going to see a lot of these in the city limits, but most of these are outside the city. These are just, this layer is just useful if you're looking for farm property. And this layer has the farms with the lines through it here. So if you were to click on one of these, you would see this property we have classified as a farm. And it's 154 acres, and you can see the boundary right here. And you can see the owner and the address and how many acres it is there as well. There's some more info down here too. Excuse me. So I'm going to turn farms off. I'm going to go to historical photos. So that's another layer that I update periodically. On our Facebook page, I post every Friday what I call Photo Friday. And every one of those photos is displayed on this map right here. Each one of these represents the address of one of those photos. Now, something that's a little different here, you can click and see the old photo, the old black and white photo, but you can't just click on the dot because right now I've got current parcels highlighted. If you want to see the old photo that's available here, you have to click historical photos there, and now you can click the dot, and this will show you well, that one's broke. This will show you the old photo, and then you can click this link here and it will show you a full-size version of this. Now that's not a very good photo because they put a big marker with an X on it. Here's a good one. So I clicked on it. I'm going to click view full size, and there's the photo. And I can zoom in and even look at it even more here if I wanted to. So now I'm going to go back to current parcels because this is what we normally use when we're navigating this website or this map. So I'm going to turn off historical photos. Now, no one may have much interest in this, but the map index, you see how this turned on some numbers and a bunch of squares. We have every property in the county indexed according to its location, and it'll have a map number such as 09400000002.02. So you see here, this map number is in the 094 well, it's in the 094 map area. The 094 is a subset of this, the 094-10. And here's another one over here, 084. This whole square right here is 084 properties. And this whole square right here is 074 properties. So, like I said, this may not be important for most people, but this gives you an idea what the map index layer is for. Opportunity zones here. So the city has something called opportunity zones. I don't know a lot of details about it. Has something to do with incentives. If someone wants to build something in this area, I believe they have, I was thinking 3, but it looks like 2 opportunity zones. I'm going to select opportunity zone, and then I'm going to click it. So this highlighted the 303 zone, which is most of downtown, and then I highlighted this one, which is the 304 zone. This looks like the north side of town. So you'd have to contact the city to learn what kind of benefits you would have to do any development using these opportunity zones. Paducah city limit here, it's kind of hard to see. I'm going to turn off the current parcel layer, turns off all the red, and I'm going to go down here and turn off the aerial photo. And you see this gold or yellow boundary right here? This is the city limit that's right here. So you can follow it all the way around here, and this was updated just a few days ago. This is the current city limit as it stands right now. So I'm going to turn that back off. I'm going to turn the 2023 aerial photo back on, and I'm going to turn current parcels photo back on. So that's normally on. It's on by default. Permits. This is a layer that we maintain here at the PVA office. It's okay for the public to use this, or else we wouldn't have it here, but we use this here in the PVA office for our inspection needs. For example, this property here shows that it's got a new house or a new housing unit of some sort being built on it. And as well as this one, this one, this one, this one. These are all new housing of some sort. This looks like the West Ridge area. Now these different colors mean different things. So this color here means it's got some sort of detached structure that has a permit on it. Whereas this color here, this reddish color, has additions being built in it. And we update this maybe once a month or so. And new houses, new house, more detached. These are spread all over the county. This one here has some sort of commercial development. COM stands for commercial. You can see all of these if you have permits highlighted, and then you go to legend. You can see the different values that we have here. And some of these shouldn't be here, but I can't seem to get Qpublic to remove them. Addition and additions shouldn't be separate. They should be additions. But so then we have commercial, detached, field orders, mobile homes, other, pool, raises. This is one of those I need to get Qpublic to remove. Rental repair, which are renovations or repairs permits. Res new is any type of new housing. And tornado damage was a permit type that I added after the tornado on the southern end of the county a year or so ago. So I'm going to turn the permits off. I'm going to go to plat book and page. I'm going to turn it on. So this is an interesting new layer that we added that shows the plat book and page associated with the property. Now it doesn't show any historical plat book and page, but that can be found other ways. So for example, here in this neighborhood, you can see the plat book and page for this neighborhood was G442. So that's plat book G, page 442. If you were to look at it, you would see a plat that's maintained in the county clerk's office that would have the dimensions for each one of these plats, and it may have other information that would be useful for you as well. So I'm going to turn that off. If I go to soils, this is something from the, I believe, the USGS. It kind of shows terrain, and we used to use this at one time, and we quit using it for some problems that it caused, but it's still available there. Subdivisions shows the names of common subdivisions. For example, here I'm looking at Golden Meadow. This entire area here should be the Golden Meadow subdivision. Over here on these streets, you can see an outline of the Wood Creek Manor subdivision. The county is littered with subdivisions that we have added to this layer. Here's West Vale, here's Primrose Place, here's Woodland Reserve, and so forth and so forth. Realtors tend to use this when they are entering a property for sale, for a listing, and they will state what subdivision it's in. And tax districts, this shows the tax districts across the county. So we typically have 9 of these. These would be, again, you can see all of these by selecting the layer and then going to legend. You can see there's 9 of these, I believe. One is the Outside Fire, Reland Fire, Hendron, Lone Oak, well, 5, I forget all these. 8 and 9, which is the city, and 10, which is Melbourne. But you see we're missing a 7 right here, and 7 used to be Lone Oak, I believe, or the city of Lone Oak, and of course it was done away with a few years ago. So there are the county tax districts: West McCracken, Concord. This is the Outside Fire district right here. This color means, outside fire means it does not have fire service. Here's West McCracken, Concord, and Melbourne, Hendron, Reland, Lone Oak, and then you've got the city, which is the 08 and 09 tax districts here. And the TIF district, many of you may know the downtown area of the city has a TIF district. It's highlighted in yellow here. It's kind of hard to see here. You can turn off these other layers and see that if you want. Turn off the TIF district. The year built is another interesting layer. It helps us from time to time. If you click on it, it will show you the age of the primary building that was built on those properties, and sometimes that can be very useful to people as well. Yearly sales, that's often used by us and realtors and appraisers. This will show you recent sales in a neighborhood. It also shows you what kind of sale it was. For example, this obligation transfer may have been an auction. A close relative sale may have been a deed in which they were doing some sort of estate planning, whereas an arm's length transaction was probably a realtor assisted sale or a for sale by owner. It was an actual sale. So I'm going to turn off that layer. City labels. McCracken County only has one city, which is McCracken, or the city of Paducah now. The city of Lone Oak was dissolved some years ago. City of Paducah Annex, that just shows the boundary of the annex, and you can see that here. These are properties that have been annexed into the city, and then you go out to the western part of the county, you can see a lot more. And turn that off. Here's the 2020 floodplain. We also get that, I believe, from the U.S. Geographical Service. That should be current, although it does change every some number of years. Lakes, levee, railroads, aerial photos. This was described in another video, but the 2023 aerial photo, that's the one I just had turned on. If I want to look at an older part of the county, meaning an older photo, I could turn on, say, the 2002 aerial, and I can see what was there in 2002. And I can do these others as well. 2017. This is always interesting to look at, but our online photography only goes back to 2002. If you want to see older photography, I suggest you go to the city website, which is paducahky.gov, and they've got historical photos that you can look at there, going back to 1938, I believe it is. So these are the layers that are on our website. We have a variety of buttons up here across the top. I'm going to do those in a different video. As always, my door is always open. If you have any questions, come on down to the PVA office, give me a call, or send me an email. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.